My name is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your number one source for real estate advice online. And in this video, we're going to talk about one very important question that I get a lot. And I actually just got that question again while I was on this trip from one of my subscribers. And it basically is, how do I get started right now with little to no money whatsoever? And I've had this question a lot, and I want to answer it with this video because I can just point people to the video versus just individual answers all the time. So, but before I continue, make sure you go to my website, juliamspencer.com. It's at the bottom of this video. Go there, subscribe, get your free guide to real estate investing, and that's also how I keep track of you, and I can send you more information that way as well. Go to my website too. It's got my ebooks, and subscribe to my social media. YouTube, obviously, you're already here. But you can also go to my other social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe. And I post different things throughout the week, different things in different places. So you gotta, subscribe to everything so you get all the information. But let's get back to the question. How can you get started today when you have little to no money and you're really interested in getting into tax sale foreclosures, tax deeds, tax liens, tax sale investing? And by the way, I'm driving today from the airport to back home. I'm almost home in about an hour here. Thought I'd make this brief video. And I'm coming from a real estate conference in La Jolla, California, where I was invited by my good friend Jason Hartman, and you probably heard me on his podcast before. I also have videos. I've made YouTube videos with that podcast on my YouTube channel, so you can listen to them. But he's a very successful real estate investor based out of originally California, and has now moved to Nevada because of the tax savings. And in this conference, really the whole entire ballroom of people, wealthy people that really are going there and they have money to invest. And why do I say this? Is because I walked in the room and I even said to Jason, look, these are great people, and you have some great people here that it's very easy to close investment deals with these people. They have good credit, they have jobs, they have steady incomes, they have nest eggs, and these are the people that are going to buy your properties, because your properties will go at or close to market value, and what you're banking, what you're selling them, is basically the fact that their properties will increase in value later on, and they can take these large depreciation deductions on their taxes today, and some of the other dimensions of the multi-dimensional asset class real estate can be is pretty much straightforward. But what happens when we have somebody who actually doesn't have any money, somebody that's just plain simple broke, starts off with nothing? So I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be very extremely difficult for you to get started and get successful. That's because the less money you have, the more how should I say it, the more riskier deals you'll have to take on, and also you have to be more diligent about stretching your dollars to make most use of them. And what does that translate to tax sale foreclosures? Well, here in Georgia, where I invest, and it's not a very metropolitan type area, Chatham County. There's a city, obviously we have a large tourism industry, but it's not a big city by any standard. We have about 200,000 people that live there. It's very small, and the properties subsequently are also pretty cheap, pretty on the cheap side. So you can buy a couple properties for $1,000, maybe $2,000. But what I've seen lately, the trend has been going up. So people are coming in and paying $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 for these properties. So people are getting wise, and hopefully they're getting wise because they're buying my ebooks. But the point what I'm trying to make is, if you have absolutely no money, you really stand very little chance to make a lot of money there. What would I recommend to you in this case? Well, my first recommendation is always to keep looking in other areas. If your area isn't working for you, go to another area. Go to an adjacent county, maybe a smaller rural county that maybe doesn't even have a sale every month, maybe once a year, and poke around there and see what you can find. And if that doesn't work, go to the next one. I mean, don't let yourself get discouraged by getting no answers or bad answers, or not even any kind of prospect of a good deal. But in any case, you still have to have money. I mean, and you have to have that money available in cash. It has to be liquid, and you have to be able to sacrifice it for quite a long period of time in some cases. It depends on the redemption period laws in your state. Here in Georgia, it's very favorable. It's 1 year. We get a penalty. South Carolina is also a year. You get interest rate. Now, if you go to somewhere like Illinois, you could be stuck waiting up to 3 years to get any of your return on your money. So you're going to have some sort of nest egg. And the less your nest egg is, the more you need to learn and the more risk you have to take. That's just the way business is done. So what I recommend to you, very first thing, is go to my website, juliamspencer.com, and get your hands on as many of my ebooks that you can afford. And I also want to tell you that it's better for you to listen to my ebooks and ask me questions versus buying the consulting packages that I have on there right away, because we're not going to have a lot to talk about because if you don't have any of the basics down yet, and the basics are in the books. Once you subscribe, you get coupons, so you can get a cheaper deal. But you need to listen to those ebooks, and you need to really learn and understand what I'm saying there, at least as much as you can, and educate yourself. Now, if you have the means to purchase other people's programs, by all means do that. There's other people that teach you that. I'm, for one, actually a real person, so I do this stuff every day. I don't just sell you a program and then let you walk off on your own and try to figure it out. You know, I will be there to support you, but you really have to buy those ebooks first. So, that being said, 2 more suggestions for you if you have little or zero money. When I started my tax sale foreclosure investing career, I had a very good job, and I was making a lot of money for a salaried job. I think it was something like $83,000 a year. And with that money, I was able to put a couple $100 every month aside, sometimes even $1,000, and that started my little career. Also had a working husband who had a good job, so the two of us, we put our salaries together, and so we were able to purchase a couple tax sale foreclosures for a couple $1,000s and not really worry about losing the money or having the money be gone for a period of time. So I did not start with nothing. But if you don't have that, then you need to make use with what you have, and more than likely you live in a place, wherever you live, and you might have some room to spare. If you have a room to spare listed on Airbnb, collect money for renting that room to day travelers and use that money to start your investing career. There's 2 videos on my YouTube channel. I'm going to add them to the bottom of this video, links to them, and you can see how I started getting extra seed money for my tax sale foreclosure investing career through Airbnb, renting out extra rooms that I had. Another suggestion I have for you, and again, you need to buy my first book on how to make money with tax sale foreclosures. Actually the title of the book is How to Make Money with Tax Sale Investing. It's got like a greenish yellow type cover. Actually it's brown yellow kind of cover. Also, we'll add the link to that at the bottom of this video. That will have an interview with an overage investor. An overage investor is somebody who goes not after the property, but goes and finds the overages that were paid, the overbid amounts that were paid on any one auction, on any one property, and then he tries to claim that money back for the original owner who lost that property, whilst collecting a fee, of course. And the fee can be anywhere from 5 to 50%, which can be quite sizable. But he does that for a living. I I have an interview in that book with him. He kind of tells you the technique, and you can learn how to do that. You don't really need any startup cash for that. You just need to know the laws and understand the rules and how to contact and find original owners. Again, this investor actually uses specific software to find people, and his prior job or concurrent job is a bill collector, so he knows very well how to find people, and he uses that same system to find people who are out there and there's government funds sitting there for them. Now, one other last point that I wanted to make. If you have little to no money and you want to start with real estate investing, there's another method, and there is a YouTube video from one of my radio shows that I've actually copied while I was recording the radio show and added it to YouTube. And it's my radio show with Mary Pearson. Actually, I think there's about 2 of them now. Now, Mary Pearson she's also an investor, a local real estate investor in the Savannah area. She has a very unique way to approach tax sale foreclosure investing, or just any kind of investing. She's worked out a system where she basically obtains properties subject to, which means that she purchases properties with the mortgage on them, and then she is then subsequently responsible for the mortgage. She then re-rents those houses to tenant buyers, collects a fee on top, and of course builds her own equity and obtains real estate that way. Now, you have to listen to those radio shows to understand exactly her system. I've not used her system before. It makes total complete sense to me, but she's the expert. So I have a video, I have 2 still videos actually from my radio shows on YouTube on that. I'll try to add them at the bottom of this video as well if I can find them. But if I can't find them, just search for Mary Pearson. She's a fellow investor. She's on my radio show. She's a frequent guest on my radio show. So, and that's pretty much all I have. Now, if you get into Mary Pearson's strategy of how to invest in real estate investing, you're still going to have money, because when people contact you to give you their property or work a deal with you, they're usually behind near foreclosure. So you kind of have to bail them out as an investor. You got to catch up their payments, their taxes, their insurance, and for that you need money. So it's going to be very difficult for you to make any money with real estate, any significant money with real estate investing, if you have no money whatsoever, like none. But you just have to think about ingenious ways of how you could possibly make some money. And likely you live in a place that you can utilize and come up with some other ideas to put a couple $100 aside here and there. And you're gonna have to you have to get really, really smart, get my ebooks, and basically use that knowledge to find some really, really good deals. And you're gonna have to start from the bottom up with the very, very cheap properties. So that being said, don't forget to go to my website, juliamspencer.com. Make sure you download your free guide to real estate investing there. Sign up for my newsletter. Make sure you stay in touch and send me your questions, realestate@juliamspencer.com. Also check out my radio show, my weekly Real Estate Real Talk radio show. It's on WRUU.org. You can stream it from anywhere in the world online, and the recorded shows will also go on YouTube at a later time. So juliamspencer.com. Do it today, and I hope to see you investing very successfully soon. Have a great day.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.